You won't believe what really disqualified Lewis Hamilton from the Chinese Grand Prix. Yes, he was penalized. Yes, the official reason was excessive plank wear. But what if I told you the real cause was actually a strategy decision by Ferrari? A move that backfired and took the entire team down with him? If you think you already know the story, get ready to see it from a completely different angle. Because Martin Brundle, former F1 driver and Sky Sports commentator, offered an explanation that changes everything. Stay with me, because what started as a technical disqualification might actually expose a deeper issue inside Ferrari and a warning sign for the rest of the championship. Here's what most people missed. After his second pit stop, Hamilton had nothing to lose. He was behind Verstappen on fresh tires, and Ferrari gave him the green light to push hard. So he did. Brundle points out that this final stint, where Hamilton drove aggressively to recover lost ground, may have worn down the car's floor just enough to cross the legal limit, and that's what triggered the disqualification. So this wasn't about a setup failure or reckless driving. It was a calculated team decision, a strategy that pushed the limits and paid the price. But if you think that was bad, what happened to Leclerc was an even bigger mistake. Coming up, Leclerc's penalty wasn't the same, and it reveals an even deeper problem inside Ferrari. We heard it in the steward's report. Leclerc's car was too light at the end of the race. But why? The answer reveals a worrying oversight. Brundle explained it like this. In long races, with no safety cars and extended tire stints, cars burn more fuel and shed tire weight. All of that reduces the final mass of the car. Ferrari failed to account for this. To make matters worse, Leclerc had a front wing replaced during the race, another variable in the car's weight distribution. Ferrari left no buffer, no margin for error, and that's why they were punished. A basic miscalculation in the most competitive environment on Earth. But it's not just about the penalty. The real story is what this did to Ferrari's standing in the championship. Next, what looked like a decent weekend turned into Ferrari's worst nightmare, and the consequences are huge. Yes, zero. Despite winning the sprint, showing solid race pace, and having two cars in the top six, Ferrari walked away empty-handed from Sunday's Grand Prix. And the damage is already showing. After just 2 rounds, Ferrari sits 5th in the Constructors' Championship with only 17 points. McLaren already has 88. That's not a gap. That's a canyon. And it's a sign that Ferrari isn't just lacking performance, it's lacking control. But here's what makes it worse. This all began with what looked like a smart move, giving Hamilton the freedom to push. So why did Ferrari go for it? Coming up, was Ferrari desperate or just unaware of the consequences? And what does this say about their mindset going forward? Let's break it down. Ferrari knew Hamilton wouldn't catch Verstappen, so they gave him fresh tires and told him to go flat out, hoping to make up ground and salvage the race. But that decision ignored a critical factor: the technical limits of the car. In a modern F1 car, running low to the ground gives performance, but it also risks excessive floor wear, especially under heavy load. By unleashing Hamilton, Ferrari took that risk knowingly, or worse, blindly. In the end, it backfired. Hamilton showed speed, but the price was too high. And now, with 2 drivers disqualified, Ferrari looks like a team chasing redemption with no margin for error. But while Ferrari self-destructed, someone else was quietly dominating the weekend. Up next, everyone's focused on Red Bull and Ferrari, but McLaren might be the real threat. And you need to see what they're building. No dramas, no disqualifications, no excuses. McLaren left China with more points, more consistency, and a clear sign that they might be the most stable team on the grid right now. Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri are both performing. The car is fast, but more importantly, it's dependable. While Ferrari gets tripped up by technical regulations and Red Bull continues to rely almost entirely on Verstappen, McLaren is building momentum the smart way. And if Ferrari keeps slipping, don't be surprised if McLaren becomes Verstappen's biggest headache this year. But speaking of Verstappen, what he said after the race about his own car should worry Red Bull fans. Coming next, for the first time in a long time, Verstappen wasn't happy, and what he revealed might be the start of something bigger. If you're still here, You're the kind of fan we make these videos for. So do us a favor, like the video, subscribe to Paddock Insider, and turn on notifications so you never miss what's really happening behind the scenes in Formula One. Now tell us in the comments, did Ferrari sabotage their own race weekend? Were the disqualifications fair? And is McLaren the dark horse we should all be watching? We read every comment, and the best ones might even feature in our next video. Next stop, Suzuka. And if the season so far is any indication, anything could happen.